You didn't ask for this path, but you were born into it. From the moment you entered this world, unseen forces have been working against you. They knew what you were before you did, an unstoppable force, destined to disrupt their carefully constructed reality. Why do they fear you so much? Because your existence alone threatens to unravel everything they've built. Every challenge, every obstacle, every moment of isolation. They weren't random. They were carefully placed to weaken you, to make you doubt yourself, to keep you from realizing the power you hold. They know you can see through the lies, break free from their control, and awaken others. You've been labeled, misunderstood, and suppressed, but that's because they fear what happens when you rise. You are their greatest threat, not because of your strength, but because of your truth. And once you embrace that truth, the game changes forever. This isn't just a story about survival. It's a revelation about why the world has worked so hard to silence you. Ready to find out why? If you're ready, type "I am ready" in the comments. Before we continue, a quick request. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps spread these powerful messages and reach those who need them most. Let's dive in. Inherent vision to reshape reality. The chosen ones are guided by an inner compass, one that leads them to recognize the flaws of the world around them. Even though they might not always have the words to explain it, they sense deeply that something is not right. This feeling is not something that can be taught or learned. It's an intrinsic awareness that guides them through life. It's like having an unspoken knowing, an understanding of the world that others might overlook. They see cracks in the system, even when they cannot fully articulate why or how they know these cracks exist. It's a feeling as natural as breathing, like being aware that the air is thin at the top of a mountain without understanding the science behind it. The chosen ones cannot simply accept things as they are. There's a deeper knowing that something greater is possible, though the path to it may not always be clear. This awareness is not just about noticing problems. It carries within it the potential for revolution. The chosen ones are not satisfied with minor adjustments or simple fixes. They understand that true transformation requires more than just small changes. It requires a complete reimagining of the world. They are like builders who see an entire new structure in a pile of rubble. The world as it exists today is insufficient, and the chosen ones are the ones who hold the blueprint for change. Their potential is not merely to improve what is already in place, but to completely overhaul it. They understand the deep layers that hold the current system together, and they can see how to unravel and rebuild them in a way that serves everyone, not just the few in power. This ability to envision something better is a direct threat to the established structures that rely on maintaining control, fear, and stagnation. The powers that be are deeply afraid of this vision because it represents something they cannot predict or control. Those in power depend on the system staying the same, on people following set rules and expectations, and on maintaining a sense of comfort that hides the deeper issues. The chosen ones, however, disrupt this comfort by seeing what lies beneath the surface. Their vision of a better world is not based on conflict or destruction. It is rooted in the power of truth. The established systems fear this because truth is a force that cannot be contained. The chosen ones can see through the illusions that have been carefully constructed to keep people in line, and that ability alone is enough to spark change. When others start to see what the chosen ones see, it becomes impossible to maintain the illusion. This ability to expose the truth is not something that can be shut down, because it is quiet, steady, and undeniable. The vision of the chosen ones threatens the stability of the system in ways that cannot be easily understood or controlled. They are not rebels in the traditional sense, fighting for revolution through violence or opposition. Instead, their power lies in their quiet ability to awaken others. This vision is not something that needs to be forced upon people. It is something that begins to grow once the seeds of truth are planted. The chosen ones know that once others recognize the potential for a better world, they will no longer be content with the way things are. This ripple effect is unstoppable because it is built on truth and authenticity. It cannot be extinguished because it does not rely on force, but on the simple power of people waking up to the reality that there is another way. This is why the chosen ones are feared. They represent the unknown, the unseen potential that could dismantle everything that has been carefully constructed to hold power in place. What they carry is not something that can be controlled or predicted. The chosen ones are like seeds planted in the cracks of a stone. They grow despite the obstacles in their way. What the world doesn't realize is that their very existence challenges everything that has been built to maintain order. It is not the noise they make that threatens the system, but the quiet revolution they represent, one that will reshape the world from the inside out. A force that unravels deception. The chosen ones carry with them an undeniable authenticity, a presence that disrupts the carefully constructed illusions around them. Like sunlight breaking through dark clouds, their truth shines through the layers of deceit that others have built their lives on. Where falsehoods have been allowed to grow and take root, their very being makes these lies visible. It's not something they consciously try to do. It's simply the way they exist. They are like a mirror that reflects not just the outward image, but the deeper truths lurking beneath the surface. People may be comfortable in their illusions, thinking everything is in order, but when the chosen ones enter the room, the masks begin to slip. Their authenticity forces others to reckon with what they have been hiding from themselves, often making those around them feel uncomfortable. But that discomfort is necessary, as it pushes people to confront the reality they've been avoiding. This natural transparency doesn't just reveal the truth in small, isolated moments. It exposes the very structure of deceit that underpins larger systems. It is like a house of cards, carefully stacked and maintained, but with a single breath, the whole structure collapses. The chosen ones do not need to tear down these structures actively. They only need to be present, and the deception begins to crumble on its own. The systems of power that rely on lies to function cannot survive in the light of their truth. Just as a plant cannot grow without sunlight, systems built on falsehoods begin to wither when exposed to the authenticity the chosen ones bring. These systems thrive on keeping people in the dark, convincing them that everything is normal, that nothing needs to change. But when the chosen ones step into the picture, everything shifts. The lies that once seemed solid and unshakable start to bend and break, as the truth creates cracks where there once was a smooth, false surface. The very presence of the chosen ones forces others to see what has been hidden for so long. It's as though a veil has been lifted, revealing the hidden agenda of those who have been manipulating others. These agendas are not always visible at first. They hide behind the curtain of everyday life, operating in the background while everyone else is distracted. The chosen ones, however, have an innate ability to see through these layers. It's as if they have a special lens that allows them to look past the surface and uncover what lies beneath. They can see the strings being pulled behind the scenes, the narratives that have been woven to control and deceive. What they bring to the table is not just the ability to expose individual lies, but to reveal the systems of control that have been built on manipulation. Their influence is like a spotlight in a dark theater. It doesn't just highlight one actor, but it illuminates the entire stage, showing the entire performance for what it truly is. This transparency is not always welcomed. Those who have built their lives around the deception struggle to maintain their grip, as the chosen one's presence makes the truth undeniable. The comfort of the lie begins to unravel, and those who have relied on maintaining these false narratives feel the pressure. It's like trying to hold a balloon underwater. The harder you push to keep it down, the more it wants to rise to the surface. The chosen ones don't need to force this. Their mere existence makes the falsehoods rise up for all to see. This is why the powerful and the deceitful feel threatened. They know that the chosen ones have the power to unravel everything they have worked so hard to conceal. And what's more, they can't stop it. The truth that the chosen ones bring is like water. It cannot be contained. It will find its way through the smallest cracks and flood everything in its path. As these layers of deception begin to fall away, society starts to see the truth for what it is. The narratives that have been so carefully crafted, the stories people have been told for generations, begin to crack under the pressure of authenticity. It's like a facade that looks perfect from the outside, but once you step behind it, you realize it's just a painted wall. The chosen ones don't need to pull the wall down themselves. They simply reveal that the wall was never real to begin with. The power of their presence is in their ability to expose these cover-ups for what they are. They make it clear that much of what people have believed to be true is simply a constructed illusion designed to keep the masses in line. What they expose is not just a few isolated truths, but the very foundation on which those in power have built their control. This ability to unmask hidden agendas is not something that can be easily silenced. The chosen ones don't need to fight against the lies directly. Instead, their truth is like a force of nature that wears down the walls of deceit over time. It may start as a small crack, but given enough time and pressure, it will inevitably break through. The systems that rely on secrecy and manipulation cannot stand when the light of truth shines on them. The chosen ones are the storm that brings that light, the winds that push the lies into the open. What they reveal is not just the falsehoods of today, but the systems that have kept them in place for so long. When these systems start to crumble, they can never go back to the way they were. The truth, once revealed, cannot be hidden again. Harnessing sensitivity as an advantage. The chosen ones possess a sensitivity that the world often misinterprets as fragility, but in reality, it is a profound strength. Where others may see vulnerability, they have developed an acute awareness of both emotional and spiritual undercurrents. It is as though they are tuned into a frequency that others cannot hear, sensing the invisible currents that move through people and situations. This heightened sensitivity allows them to perceive what is not immediately visible to the naked eye, understanding the subtle energies that shape interactions and influence outcomes. It's not just an awareness of surface-level emotions, it's a deep knowing that connects them to the very essence of the world around them. They feel the weight of others' struggles, but instead of being crushed by it, they find strength in their ability to understand and empathize. Just like a finely tuned instrument, they can pick up on the smallest vibrations of human emotion, responding with a depth that others often cannot grasp. This sensitivity allows the chosen ones to connect to the collective human experience in ways that others might not understand. It's as though they are bridges, linking individual stories and struggles into a larger tapestry of shared existence. They can feel the pain, the joy, the fear, and the hope of others, not as distant observers, but as participants in the human condition. This connection is not simply an emotional response, it's a spiritual one. It's as if they are attuned to the collective heartbeat of humanity, feeling the rise and fall of emotions as if they were their own. This bond gives them a unique ability to heal, to offer understanding and comfort where there is distress. Their empathy becomes a superpower, one that transcends traditional boundaries. In a world where many are disconnected from each other, the chosen ones can see beyond the surface, offering compassion and guidance in ways that feel almost magical to those who experience it. They don't just hear people's words, they hear their souls, and this ability to listen on such a deep level allows them to respond in ways that foster true healing. However, the world often doesn't understand this power. It has a tendency to suppress emotions, to silence those who feel too deeply, especially when those feelings challenge the status quo. The chosen ones, however, do not shrink under this suppression. In fact, the more they are told to suppress their emotions, the more powerful their sensitivity becomes. It's as if the attempts to silence them only add fuel to their fire. The pressure to conform, to bottle up their feelings, and accept the world as it is only serves to amplify their ability to see the truth. Just as pressure can turn carbon into a diamond, the efforts to stifle their emotions only enhance their clarity and strength. Rather than being weakened by attempts to make them conform, they become a force to be reckoned with, using their heightened sensitivity to cut through the layers of manipulation that others cannot see. This sensitivity is not a weakness, it is a shield and a sword. While the world may try to dismiss their emotions as unnecessary or burdensome, the chosen ones understand that their emotional depth is what enables them to see beyond the illusions that others cannot. They are like a mirror that reflects not just what is seen, but the truth hidden beneath the surface. In a world where people often shy away from discomfort, the chosen ones embrace it, knowing that through their sensitivity, they are able to understand what others cannot. They are the ones who can feel the tremors of injustice before anyone else notices, the ones who can sense the quiet pain of a society that is trying to ignore its own wounds. Rather than shrinking from their sensitivity, the chosen ones learn to harness it, using it as a tool for transformation. They understand that their emotional and spiritual awareness allows them to heal the wounds of others, often without even speaking a word. Their mere presence can soothe, offering a safe space for others to express their pain and begin the process of healing. Just like a calm breeze can still the storm, their empathy can quiet the chaos in others' hearts. This gift is not limited to individual relationships. It extends to the world at large. The chosen ones become agents of change, using their deep connection to the human experience to inspire others to feel, to confront their own emotions, and to act with compassion. They are the ones who can see the brokenness in the world and know that the path to healing starts with understanding, not avoidance. In a world that often values logic over emotion, the chosen ones stand as reminders that emotional intelligence is just as important, if not more so, than intellectual intelligence. Their sensitivity gives them access to a deeper understanding of life's mysteries, allowing them to respond to the world in ways that are not only compassionate, but also insightful. They do not let their emotions control them. Instead, they use them as a source of wisdom, a guiding light that shows them the path forward. They are like navigators in uncharted waters, using their intuition and empathy to guide them through the storms of life, always seeking to bring healing wherever they go. The chosen ones are not weakened by their emotions. They are empowered by them. Their sensitivity is not something to be feared or suppressed, but something to be celebrated. It is the very thing that allows them to see the world not just for what it is, but for what it could become. They are the healers, the guides, the ones who can turn emotional depth into transformative power. The world may not always understand them, but those who do are the ones who benefit most from their presence. Carrier of the cosmic blueprint. The chosen ones often experience a sense of carrying knowledge that others seem unaware of, like holding pieces of a cosmic puzzle that fit perfectly together, but that no one else can see. These fragments of understanding are not learned or taught in the traditional sense. They are intuitive, woven into their being, like a natural ability to understand a language they've never been formally taught. They feel as though their lives are guided by this deeper knowledge, which influences their decisions and actions, often leading them to challenge the systems and structures that govern society. It's as if they are walking with a map of the world that shows hidden paths, paths that others overlook or cannot even fathom. They are aware of a bigger picture, one that is beyond the ordinary understanding, and this awareness gives them the ability to see things that most people miss. While others see life in its current state, the chosen ones see the potential for something much greater, a future that is yet to be realized, but one that they feel destined to help shape. This awareness and insight give them access to solutions that others cannot perceive. The challenges the world faces, the deep-rooted problems that seem impossible to overcome, are not obstacles to the chosen ones. They are opportunities to apply the hidden knowledge they carry. They possess a unique ability to dissect societal structures, seeing how they interlock and function, and understanding how to untangle the knots that bind humanity. It's as if they can read between the lines of history, understanding not just what happened, but why it happened, and how to move forward. While others may be focused on solving problems in the usual way, the chosen ones approach these issues from a different angle, seeing potential solutions that others cannot. They hold the keys to unlocking humanity's future, like architects who are given a blueprint of a building before the foundation has even been laid. Where others are limited by their current understanding of the world, the chosen ones can see what needs to change and how to bring that change about. What the chosen ones carry with them is not only knowledge, but the necessary tools to bring about a new era, one that is free from the constraints that currently hold humanity back. It's as though they are custodians of a hidden treasure, one that contains everything the world needs to evolve into something better. These tools are not physical in the traditional sense. They are more intangible. Ideas, concepts, and insights that challenge old ways of thinking and being. The world has been shaped by outdated systems and limiting beliefs, and the chosen ones, with their understanding of what lies beyond these structures, are the ones who have the ability to break through the boundaries that confine human potential. They know that a new dawn is possible, a dawn where humanity is no longer shackled by fear, greed, and division, but instead moves forward into a world of possibility and unity. They are like gardeners planting seeds in a barren field, knowing that with time and care, these seeds will grow into something vibrant and transformative. These pieces of wisdom and insight are not just for the chosen ones themselves. They are meant to be shared with the world. They are the ones who can look at the world and see the intricate connections that others miss, the threads that hold society together, but that also hold it in place, limiting its growth. They are able to see that the way things have been structured, economically, socially, and politically, does not serve the greater good. These old structures, built on outdated ideologies and practices, no longer serve the needs of a rapidly evolving world. The chosen ones, with their deep understanding, are able to challenge these old ways and present new models for how humanity can live and thrive. Their vision is not about destruction, but about transformation, taking what exists and reshaping it into something that can support the growth of humanity. It's like reworking a masterpiece that has been damaged, preserving its core beauty while restoring it to its original, vibrant form. In their role as carriers of the cosmic blueprint, the chosen ones are tasked with guiding humanity toward a future that is not just different, but better. They are not just dreamers, they are doers, using their insights to create tangible change. The wisdom they carry is a tool for growth, not stagnation. They can see how the threads of society can be rewoven into a fabric that supports all people, rather than just a few. It's as though they have the ability to see the future, not as a distant possibility, but as something that can be shaped in the present. What they hold within them is not just knowledge of the way things are, but a clear vision of the way things could be, and the ability to make that vision a reality. Their insight is the spark that can ignite a revolution of thought and action, a revolution that paves the way for a new era of human existence. The chosen ones carry within them not just the wisdom to see what is wrong, but the tools to correct it. They are the ones who can understand the deep-seated problems of society and offer solutions that are grounded in truth and authenticity. Their insights are the missing pieces that, when placed in the puzzle of humanity's future, create a complete picture, one where all people are free to live up to their highest potential. They are the carriers of the cosmic blueprint, and their role in the unfolding of the future is both sacred and transformative. What they offer is not just knowledge, but a way forward, a way that has the power to unlock a new world, one where the limitations of the past no longer hold sway. Rebellious energy rooted in purpose. The chosen ones possess an innate rebellion that runs through their veins, but it is not the type of rebellion that thrives on conflict or destruction. It's more like a force of nature that cannot be ignored, a current that flows in a direction determined by something deeper than personal frustration. They don't challenge others for the sake of conflict. Rather, they are instinctively drawn to confront the systems and structures that stand in the way of the greater good. Their rebellion is not about attacking individuals, but about standing up to the invisible forces that maintain outdated rules, suppress individuality, and limit potential. It's as if they are drawn to fight the shadows, knowing that the light of truth must be let in to dispel the darkness. This inner drive is not one of hate or anger, but of purpose, an understanding that the way things have been organized is not in alignment with what is best for humanity as a whole. They are like the wind, pushing against the barriers that try to keep everything stagnant, moving towards a world that is free to grow and evolve. Rather than creating chaos for chaos' sake, the rebellion of the chosen ones serves a higher function. Their actions disrupt the old systems, but these disruptions are purposeful. They are not motivated by the desire to watch the world crumble, but to create space for something better to take root. It's like tearing down a crumbling building in order to build a new one that is stronger, safer, and more aligned with the needs of the people who will live in it. These disruptions are not about destruction for destruction's sake. They are about clearing away the debris of outdated thinking, allowing for new, healthier paradigms to emerge. The chosen ones are not here to break the world. They are here to make room for the world that could be. Their rebellion is a creative force, clearing the way for ideas, systems, and structures that support a thriving, balanced world. Their energy is not spent in a pointless clash, but in purposeful action that moves the world forward. The rebellion they carry within them is rooted in something far deeper than frustration. It is driven by an internal sense of purpose that is focused on creating lasting positive change. It's not born out of anger, but from a deep understanding that the world is capable of more. It is as if they have seen a glimpse of what could be, and their entire being is drawn to manifest that vision. The force behind their actions is not destructive, but constructive, working to dismantle the old in order to build something that serves the collective good. It's like a gardener pulling weeds from the soil, not to harm the garden, but to make space for new growth. Their drive is not about venting frustrations or railing against the world. It's about bringing forth the world that could be, one that is more just, more inclusive, and more aligned with the well-being of all. They are not just reacting to what is wrong. They are actively working to create what is right. The world they seek to build is not born out of wishful thinking, but out of a clear vision of what humanity is capable of when it sheds the constraints of outdated systems and embraces a new way of being. This rebellious energy is not the result of a desire for personal gain or recognition. It is driven by a sense of duty to something much larger than the individual. The chosen ones understand that their role is not to fit into the mold that society has created for them, but to reshape that mold so it better reflects the true potential of humanity. Their rebellion is not about taking down people or institutions for the sake of power, but about standing firm against systems that perpetuate inequality, fear, and division. It is a rebellion of the spirit, one that seeks to ignite the fire of transformation in the hearts of others. They are like a spark in the dark, a flame that cannot be snuffed out because it is fueled by something eternal, purpose and vision. Their actions may seem disruptive to those who are attached to the old ways, but to those who see the bigger picture, their rebellion is a beacon of hope. The chosen ones don't fight because they have something to prove. They fight because they have something to build. Their energy is focused on creating the conditions that allow people to thrive in harmony with one another and with the planet. They see the brokenness in the world, but instead of feeling defeated by it, they are motivated to heal it. Their rebellion is not about opposing others. It is about opposing the systems that hold people back from realizing their true potential. It's as if they see a world trapped in a cage, and their mission is to unlock the door and let everyone out. This drive to shift the status quo is not fueled by a desire to destroy, but by a desire to free. They are not interested in fighting for the sake of fighting. They are interested in fighting for what is right, for what can be, for what humanity is capable of when it works together for the common good. Through this rebellious energy, the chosen ones challenge others to see beyond the limitations of the current system. Their actions, though disruptive, invite others to reconsider what they have accepted as normal and to ask themselves whether there is a better way. Their energy is like a wave crashing against the shore, not to destroy, but to reshape the coastline. They are not interested in preserving the old order. They are dedicated to creating a new one that honors the true needs of the world and its people. The rebellion of the Chosen Ones is not a violent upheaval, it is a peaceful revolution, one that shifts the energy of the collective towards something greater than the sum of its parts. Through their actions, they create the space for a new world to emerge, one that is founded on purpose, love, and the belief that the future can be better than the past. Survival in a hostile world. From the very beginning, the world was not designed to nurture the Chosen Ones. It wasn't that they lacked potential, but rather the systems surrounding them were structured to make their journey difficult. Like a plant struggling to grow in rocky soil, the Chosen Ones were placed in an environment that did not support their natural growth. These systems, which were supposed to provide a foundation for success, instead acted as barriers, intentionally or unintentionally creating obstacles that they had to overcome. The Chosen Ones, from an early age, could feel the weight of this resistance. It was as though they were being asked to walk uphill, while everyone else had the benefit of a smooth path. The world around them seemed indifferent to their potential, and at times even hostile, discouraging them from reaching for the heights they instinctively knew they could attain. The odds were stacked against them, as if the very design of their environment was meant to stifle their abilities and keep them from flourishing. Instead of being defeated by the challenges they faced, the Chosen Ones used adversity as fuel for their growth. Like a blacksmith using fire to shape metal, each difficulty they encountered served to refine their strength. Where others might have crumbled under the pressure, the Chosen Ones absorbed each setback and transformed it into resilience. These hardships became stepping stones, each one increasing their endurance and sharpening their will. What was meant to weaken them only served to empower them. Like a stone thrown into a pond, which doesn't sink but creates ripples that extend far beyond the point of impact. The obstacles in their path became the very things that made them stronger as they learned how to adapt, persevere, and keep moving forward. The more they were pushed, the more they grew, and instead of retreating in the face of adversity, they leaned into it, knowing that each challenge was preparing them for something greater. In time, the Chosen Ones transformed these struggles into an unstoppable force. What was once seen as a threat to their existence became the energy that propelled them forward, turning them into individuals capable of bending the world to their will. Like a river carving its way through a canyon, they reshaped the landscape of their lives, moving obstacles out of the way and leaving a lasting mark. Rather than being crushed by the weight of the world, they became powerful forces of change, able to influence the direction of their own lives and ultimately the world around them. The challenges they faced no longer had the power to hold them back. Instead, they had learned to use those very challenges to fuel their momentum. It was as if they had mastered the art of transformation, changing the nature of their environment instead of being overwhelmed by it. The systems that were once designed to oppress them were now being rewritten by their very existence as they became forces of revolution, reshaping the world in their image, one step at a time. The Chosen Ones became the architects of their own fate, using their past struggles as the foundation for their success. The world that once sought to hold them down now had no choice but to witness their rise. Quiet influence, profound impact. The Chosen Ones often operate in the world like a quiet stream, moving unnoticed but carving deep, lasting paths through the earth. They don't need to shout their presence to make a difference. Their influence is subtle, but it's like the steady pressure of water wearing down rock, gradual, yet unyielding. It's a silent kind of power, one that doesn't demand attention, but in its quiet persistence, it alters the course of events in ways that can't always be measured in loud displays. It's the kind of power that doesn't need to announce itself, but rather works silently in the background, reshaping the world with every small, seemingly insignificant action. Their ability to make change doesn't rely on grand gestures or spectacular movements. Instead, it's rooted in the authenticity of their being, the way they carry themselves and interact with the world. Like a pebble dropped into a pond, the ripples of their influence spread far and wide, changing the waters in ways that others might not immediately see. The chosen ones are like silent revolutionaries. Their presence alone is enough to stir something deep within those around them. It's as though they carry a quiet spark that ignites the fire of change in others, simply by being who they are. There is no need for speeches or banners. The mere act of living in their truth acts as a catalyst for those who encounter them. Their authenticity is magnetic, drawing others in and inspiring them to take action. Like a subtle breeze that shifts the direction of the leaves, their energy can alter the thoughts and behaviors of others, pushing them to question their own realities and consider new possibilities. It's not the external noise that creates the shift, but the internal resonance that emanates from their being. They don't lead by force, but by quiet example, showing others how to live without fear or pretense, simply as themselves. This kind of revolution is slow-moving, but its effects are just as profound as the loudest of movements. Their transformation is often invisible, like the wind that moves through the trees without being seen, but whose effects are undeniable. The chosen ones may not always be in the spotlight, and their influence may not always be visible, but it is no less powerful. Much like the way the wind shapes the landscape over time, their actions gradually mold the world in ways that are not always immediately obvious. In fact, their very quietness is part of their strength. Just as the wind can wear down mountains without a single shout, the chosen ones leave a deep, lasting mark on the world through their gentle but persistent presence. What they do may not always be seen by everyone, but like a seed planted deep in the earth, it is quietly growing, eventually pushing through the surface to create something new and transformative. Their ability to change the world does not rely on what others can see in the moment, but on the steady, constant pressure they exert on the systems around them. The transformation they instigate is often felt long before it is understood, as their quiet influence shifts the very fabric of society, one small action at a time. This silent, persistent force is perhaps the most powerful kind of influence. It doesn't need to be loud or forceful to make a profound impact. Instead, it moves gently and steadily, like a river carving out a canyon. The effect is long-lasting and far-reaching, even if it's not immediately recognized. It's as if the chosen ones have mastered the art of creating change without demanding attention. Like the sun rising every morning without fanfare, their presence is a constant, reliable force that moves the world forward. Their influence isn't about seeking recognition. It's about quietly but relentlessly doing what they know is right, without needing validation from others. It's not the spotlight that drives them. It's the quiet, unwavering belief that their actions, no matter how small, can make a difference. And through this belief, they transform the world around them in ways that can't always be seen or measured, but are felt deeply by those who are ready to embrace it. Through their quiet strength, the chosen ones create a ripple effect that spreads across communities, organizations, and societies. Like a subtle current that carries objects downstream, their influence moves through the world, sometimes unseen, but always present. It's not the noise of their actions that causes change. It's the quiet persistence with which they work towards their vision. This force, although invisible to the eye, is undeniable in its effects. It's a steady current that shapes the world, guiding others towards new possibilities and new ways of thinking. The chosen ones may not always be the loudest voices in the room, but their influence is profound, lasting, and impossible to ignore once it takes root. Their power is not in how much they are seen, but in how deeply they move the world, creating lasting change that transforms the very systems they seek to challenge. Like the wind, their presence is quiet, but their impact is felt everywhere. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join the movement and stay tuned for more powerful insights to fuel your transformation.